It's actually from stolen motorbikes. Motorbikes that are sold in Delhi. So he went to this grey market where these bikes are sold, and then he took out these tail lights or whatever those lights are from the bikes, and then he created this out of it. He saw in the environment around him were these very, very robust, strong kind of women, and they were the kind of characters he started bringing into his works. And he was also looking at all these village deities. Like Andhra has a very, very rich tradition of folk gods and goddesses, and he was looking at the kind of images it is. Like if you were to see her, it's like she's dominating over you. First he creates a clay figure, he creates an image in clay, and clay is something that's very malleable, and which is why he's able to do a lot of those details at the back. Then a plaster mold is made out of that, and then fiberglass is used. In most houses where they are trying to conserve space, they use a spiral staircase. What he sees is just building after building, and that change from one environment, from the rural to the urban, becomes a lifelong preoccupation for him. And what is the end point of this aspiration? Like we always want to move up, but where are we finally going at the end of it? So that he kind of tries to show by this. So he started working with sugar cubes, then with potato. So he started taking photographs of potatoes in various poses and giving them a kind of character. Not just about the kind of stories that he's trying to bring, but it's also about the form that he's trying to create. Images of PET bottles, Coke bottles and things like that. And through that she used to talk about how water is being exploited, and at the same time how in Indian culture water is something that's very, very pure. So after a point what happened was she started moving out of painting, like how we saw in the case of Sunil Gaude. She started moving from painting on to sculpture. Corporate cola manufacturing companies, the environment, but what do they give back in the end? What they give back is just these PET bottles, glass bottles that you throw around. Red is her favorite color, and often she has said that whenever a painting goes wrong for her, she tries to salvage it by using red. She somehow can manage it when she uses red. So even in this work, red and shades of red are predominant. And you can just imagine if this work was just of a single color, it would not be so interesting. When you look at a black bulb, it's like the focus is coming from the outside to the inside. It's like a focal point, a meditative point that he's trying to create. And at the same time, normally when we look at the world around us, we think of it just in terms of utilitarian objects, and we hardly ever see the shapes or the forms of the objects. T.V. Santosh is a very important contemporary artist based out of Bombay. Many of his works relate to socio-political themes and address issues of migration, terrorism, and social upheavals that take place. The terrorist attack that happened in 2008 on the city of Bombay, and one of the focal points of the attack was the Victoria Terminus. So the meaning of an artwork also changes over time. So he became very sensitive and conscious of that. And then when he started practicing art, he started bringing that element into his work. It's something very unique. You're not able to say whether it's something traditional, because you see, when you go close to it, you can see that there is an icon over there. It's like one of these geometrical yantra type of things. But at the same time, when you look at it, it's also like some scientific fantasy where Yulu's works, he criticizes religion, but he does it in a way that's very, very playful, and you cannot really, it's not a direct statement that he's trying to make, that I'm going to criticize. But in a work like this, it's open to so many interpretations, and that's the beauty of a work. And each time you see a work of art like this, it gives you something new. It changes as you also change. Middle class is becoming more and more consumerist. Like if you go to a mall over the weekend, it's jam-packed, and everybody's pastime has now become shopping. This is kind of like a transformer. All of you must have watched the film Transformer. What they've done here is they've cast these bottles in resin. Resin is a kind of synthetic material, and then they've cast it in the kind of shapes and sizes that they wanted, and then they have created this giant sculpture called Apocalyptron. So this element of humor that you see in TNT's work is something that you also find in Talur's work.